targeted societies can't create them. In fact, when you look at centralized societies like China, which takes its brightest and smartest and allocates them into these kinds of projects, that's where the danger lies.
Well, it's the danger of the military-industrial complex and its undue dangerous influence. And Eisenhower went on to say, run by a technocratic elite, a technological technocratic elite. Stay there. Dr. Nick Begich, long segment coming up. Let's keep rolling with this and how we counter it.
We're on the march. The empire's on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
Hello, friends. This is Alex Jones. You've heard me talk about Cal-Ben 5-star soaps for years. This is an American-made product of the highest quality and compares to nothing you will find in stores. You can buy factory direct, shipped via UPS right to your door. Check them out on the web at 5starsoap.com or call 800-340-7091. Take my word for it. Once you've used pure soap, you won't buy anything else. Since 1947, Cal-Ben Soap Company has been showing consumers that soap can be tough on dirt and gentle on the environment. Buy American and stay clean, as well as support InfoWars. Visit 5starsoap.com today or call 1-800-340-7091. Well, Marty, what do you have to say?
As founder and owner for over 63 years, satisfaction is guaranteed or double your dirt back. Call us at 1-800-340-7091 for a free catalog or visit our website, 5starsoap.com. Thank you.
Hundreds of nations have fallen to tyranny in the last century alone. This is our last chance to not relive history.
As we're finishing off this agenda, they'll be pulling the rug from underneath Americans at home.
We have tremendous influence on our president and Congress, and they really are calling the shots.
I think it's incumbent upon all of us as American citizens to pay attention.
Fall of the Republic identifies the enemies of our nation, the criminal offshore cartel, hell-bent on destroying sovereignty, and on its ashes constructing world government.
Tim Geithner, Bernanke, they're arsonists. They're asking for more matches. And the Congress is saying, who do we make the check out to?
Today seems like nobody does care. And right now in Washington, D.C., we have seen a fall of the Republic.
Get your copy of Fall of the Republic on DVD at Infowars.com or watch it online right now in super high quality at prisonplanet.tv.
Alex has told you that the Mideast uprisings over food prices and shortages caused by fuel costs are spreading worldwide. We're seeing the impact right here in the United States. Ethanol that was supposed to reduce petroleum use and fuel prices hit a 30-month high in February, and pump prices are expected to reach $5 a gallon. Because of shipping costs, food is being priced out of the reach of millions of Americans with an expected 35% jump in the next 60 days. Move quickly while you can still afford it, and eFoods Direct will pay your shipping costs for you. For the best tasting, long-term storable food, you pay nothing for shipping and can put every dollar into food at today's prices. eFoods Direct, food so delicious you can serve it tonight or save it for the future. Take advantage of free shipping by calling 800-409-5633. On the web, efoodsdirect.com/Alex, 800-409-5633, or efoodsdirect.com/Alex.
Can run on for a long time.
Dr. Nick Begich is our guest. I hope you're listening to us very carefully because there are thousands and thousands and thousands of patents dealing with electromagnetic mind control. I have personally only had time to read hundreds. Years ago, 12, 14 years ago, I'd have Dr. Nick Begich on about it. He's written books on the subject, available at Infowars.com. He has made films on the subject, Mind Control, A Brave New World, or Enhancing Human Performance. The issue here is, it's just like geoengineering. We know it's going on, they deny it, and then now they suddenly declassify a bunch of it. They admit it's going on, they don't declassify the entire program. And they tell people in USA Today, yes, we're mixing stuff with the jet fuel and spraying, but that part's secret, and it's to keep you safe from the end of the earth because of global warming. I mean, what are they doing for 39 years in a global secret program taking blood from all babies at birth in every nation controlled by the globalist? I mean, what is going on? There's this fake world we live in, and then there's the technocratic world that they've really designed. We're in this controlled reservation. And yes, these technologies could empower us. I'm not an anti-technology troglodyte here. I think it's great they got systems now that are very expensive. That's why the globalists want to have socialized health care so you can't get it. They're now saying, oh, the case for killing Granny, we can hire 20 teachers if we kill Granny. They socialize things so they can then sell you on destroying others to get something so they can play us off against each other. Not some type of utopian socialism. But the issue I'm getting here is with miniaturization, with technology, with all of this, this is all going to get cheaper and cheaper and cheaper for all of us. The globalists want to put in a global dictatorship before that happens, clamp down on the technology the general public can get, sequester it in technological reservations, corporations, universities, and government, and only allow a select few to have it. And in all their internal writings, the stuff that's even public but not widely distributed, they talk about, we can't let the public know what we've got. Do we just entertain them and try to sterilize as many as we can, or we just go ahead and do the right thing and wipe these people out? That's what Bill Joy talks about in Wired Magazine, owner of Sun Microsystems. That's what Ted Turner, Prince Philip, that's why they're so arrogant. And I've talked to elitists off record, and they say, Alex, people go, well, tell us who they are. If I told you on record, they never talk to me again. But they're on record, many of them writing, saying, look, the people, this is all admitted and they don't care. They deserve to die. Well, I don't deserve to die. And the globalists say, well, then you should join us. Well, number one, you're a bunch of backstabbing scum. I will not join in what you're doing. But the issue is, Dr. Begich, here's my way of putting it. If you take wild pigs or wild deer or wild horses or wild bovine, wild cows, wild whatever the case is, or domesticated, and you put a poison in the water that they can even taste, but it's the only water, they're going to go and they're going to drink it, and even as the cows and pigs die, they're still so stupid, they go and they drink it. Homo sapiens sapien is the only creature on this planet that we know of that, well, actually some insects would not drink it. It's funny, some of the lower animals, but then honeybees do. They're more like humans. They'll still eat the BT corn and die, but other animals won't. But it's like they've poisoned the well. They're turning up the ambient background noise of this system. They're rolling all of this out against us. I see it triggering. I see it happening. I see the bone cancer exploding from the fluoride, the brain cancer admitted from the cell phones in that exact area where you hold the phone, the brain waves changing, the IQs dropping, the globalists giggling and snickering as they do this. I mean, they're soft killing us now, getting us into a catatonic mind control state, so when they really roll out the mass plagues and start killing the majority of us, the public will watch their glowing telescreens. At that point, they'll flip on the high-powered stuff to just sit there in your house and wait for help as they fly over with airplanes pumping the bioweapon out. I mean, I could see their plan as clear as I saw them blowing those towers up 2 months before that happened. I see this plan coming in the next decade or so if we don't get the word out, Dr. Begich. I know I'm ranting. I want to hold you a little bit in the next hour if you can, because I'm ranting. You've got all the knowledge on this. But every bone in my body, every cell in my gut, everything in the pit of my stomach, my soul tells me, and I have the evidence. As you said, most of this is public, that they've already rolled this out against us. Tell us what they've got. What are your ideas to counter it? Do we try to get companies up to start scanning the TVs and things for these fields, studying carrier waves? Do companies come out with filters you put on your TV? How do we stop the fluorescent light bulbs that they're trying to force us to take, which they admit they're going to use to flicker control us? You notice in government buildings is where they're starting with their own minions.
Right. You know, this is all, as you say, it is being rolled out. It's being used. There's very little technology that we're protected from. The idea of building filters or creating systems that would not allow this is something that actually did come up. It came up by some of the originators of the technology back in the 80s to screen out signals from our adversaries, but in so doing, we screen out our own, because these are, it doesn't matter who's sending the signal structure has to be the same in order to create the same biological or physiological or mental effects.
So how do they stop blowback?
Well, that is the problem, and I don't think they can. I think this technology is out of the can and advancing fast enough and furiously enough where there's enough independent work that ultimately it's a question of how much are they going to tell us and how much danger are our own systems. And because I can tell you that every system that we have that could be effectively used as a carrier can be used by both commercial interests, governmental interests. It's not so much worrying about just some big brother with the command and control of huge technology. It's gotten flatter, meaning more and more access to these kinds of systems. The flip side is this, is in all of the research that I've done on this subject, the one thing the military and other researchers discovered is a bit about the human potential, or what they now call anomalous human capabilities, these things that never they could explain, mental telepathy. How does that work? Well, now they're actually developing systems to synthesize it, because they have figured out how that works. Thinking about some of the bizarre things that were relegated to the paranormal or to the religious experiences of people, there are physiological explanations.
Meanwhile, the globalists tell the public none of this exists because they want you to be psychically or spiritually blind. Right. Meanwhile, they've quantified it in tens of thousands of studies. Everybody's got it. Some people got a lot of it. They've tried to develop psychic boosters, all of that.
Right, but we all have all of this latent capacity. It's our creative birthright. We're created, I believe, in the image of a creator, and science is proving more and more that human beings are much more than we have ever thought about in terms of being just some...
But the globalists know that. That's why everything they do is trying to suppress human potential.
That's right, and the easiest and the most effective actually is through fear and worry, because if you look at an EEG, the mapping of the brain, actively engaged in fear or worry or these kinds of emotions, you get incoherent brain patterns, the kind that don't line up with this higher-ordered experiential thinking and more intellectual thinking. When you get whole brain coherence, where both hemispheres of the brain work together, they say that you can hit an ultimate unlimited IQ if you can achieve that. And there are technologies that are advancing that allow us to achieve that. And when you start to think about what our potentials are and heading in that direction, scares the hell out of elitists from the standpoint that what do you do with billions of self-actualized, fully engaged humans on a planet like this? You unmask the deceit, you unmask the fear, and you liberate the human consciousness is what happens. The exact opposite of what established orders in the world today would like to see happen. And that is what needs to happen, and I believe that is the coming evolution of humankind. We are going to experience that in the 21st century. Either it's going to be stripped from us by an elitist, controlled, and directed society, or we're going to liberate ourselves and recognize what we are, and our science is going to support that and allow us to advance to that level that I think we are all destined to move towards. I really believe that, and I think this generation, we can shake off the fear, but man, it's going to be a rocky road over the next few years, and we have to be vigilant, we have to stay calm, and we have to stay directed.
Well, that's my point here, is that I don't come at this from a position of fear. Right. I come at it from a position of extreme action and resistance.
Right.
But when I'm at home or researching, I'm very calm. My mind is focused. I have complete maps with the integrated information I have of basically enemy operations. But then verbally, it's so hard to articulate the full connections, the clarity. Right. You can see the sophisticated enemy operations. I mean, years after I've already envisioned something, I can read declassified globalist handbooks, you name it. It's word for word what I've already envisioned, because humans are so similar. They're just working from a position of using it for bad. I've been able to see how they're using it and hopefully trying to change it. But I found, though, or the reason my show's successful is that for people who are in a mind-controlled state, people who are totally locked in, for whatever reason, you talk to most people, of anybody out there, they'll say, who woke you up? It's Alex Jones. And I think it's because I am intellectual, I'm intelligent, probably not as intelligent as somebody like yourself, but I'm also have that primitive drive, and at an instinctive level, the biggest mind controller out there is the truth. People go with that. They can feel the instinctive tribal truth of what I'm saying, and so I'm able to do the initial phase of getting people broken out of their trance, so that, and not through fear,